So, imagine stepping out onto your front porch, grabbing the mail, and, opening a letter from the EPA that calmly explains there might be radioactive material buried directly beneath your lawn.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a terrifying thought.
Right. But that is the reality for over 100 homeowners in the 2026 Niagara County crisis. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the Niagara County Radiation Screening Demands EMP report.
Yeah, it's an important one.
We really want to understand how, like, 1950s atomic history is suddenly seeping into modern living rooms and, well, why household radiation monitoring has become a critical, everyday necessity for you. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Well, the origin of this crisis isn't some recent or catastrophic industrial spill, you know? To really understand how radioactive material ended up under hundreds of suburban lawns, you have to trace the supply chain back over 70 years.
Wow, wait, 70 years?
Yeah, right back to the World War II Manhattan Project and the Cold War. I mean, Western New York was this massive hub for early atomic energy programs and metallurgical industries.
Okay, so they were producing a lot of industrial waste then.
Exactly. Those facilities generated massive amounts of an industrial byproduct called slag. And this slag was enriched with trace amounts of heavy radioisotopes, which we call tenorm.
Right.
And back then, I mean, it was completely unregulated.
So instead of treating it like hazardous waste, industries just essentially commodified it, right?
Mm,
It's basically like using industrial toxic waste as cheap DIY home improvement filler.
that is exactly what happened. Because this slag was incredibly durable, developers eagerly bought it up. Yet they used it as foundational bedding for concrete slabs, municipal roads, even just driveways.
Wait, so municipalities were literally building the post-war boom on top of radioactive waste?
Yeah, they really were. And because this fill was placed directly beneath residential foundations, the threat isn't just, contaminated dirt out in the backyard.
Right, which means putting a fence around your yard does absolutely nothing. I mean, the pressure dynamics of a standard house are actively sucking that threat up through the foundation.
Precisely. The primary hazard actually comes from a specific isotope in the slag called radium-222.
Okay, and what exactly does that do?
So as it decays, it turns into radon-222, which is a noble gas. Driven by those pressure differentials you just mentioned, this radon easily migrates up through porous concrete and microcracks.
So wait, the real danger isn't just getting dirt on your hands in the garden. It is the invisible gas trapped in your living room.
Exactly. Once inside a poorly ventilated space, it decays again into solid radioactive particles. Those attach to just normal household dust. You inhale them and they lodge in your lungs, constantly emitting alpha radiation.
Which is wild because alpha radiation is actually so weak it can be stopped by a piece of paper.
Right, normally.
But when a solid radioactive particle attaches to dust and gets lodged deep inside your lung tissue, well, you have no dead skin cells to block it.
Yeah, it just continuously shreds your cellular DNA from the inside out.
That is terrifying. Take the case of Kelly Motika, which was in the report. When state investigators showed up to test her property, the highest radiation readings weren't out by the street.
Oh, not at all.
They were literally right in front of her kitchen refrigerator.
Yeah, meaning the original builders used that highly concentrated radioactive slag directly within the foundation matrix of her specific house.
Wow. Just unbelievable.
It is an acute indoor threat, and that made emergency government testing absolutely critical. But then the state's bureaucratic response immediately derailed the entire mission.
Oh, the bureaucracy. The government stepped in with a three-phase plan, right?
Yeah.
The Niagara and Erie County Radiological Assessment, or NECRA.
Right, NECRA. But to get the testing done, the EPA and the DEC initially demanded that homeowners sign sweeping liability waivers.
Wait, so they had to effectively forfeit their right to any future financial restitution just to get their soil tested?
Yes, exactly. They sabotaged their own public trust by hiding critical diagnostic testing behind a legal shield.
That is unbelievable legal coercion.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, this sparked a massive grassroots uprising.
Oh, definitely. A community group called Save Our Backyards Niagara formed, aggressively fought back, and forced the state to completely drop those waivers just to get the testing moving again.
And they are now pushing even harder, demanding the state declare these neighborhoods a Class 1 Superfund site, which is, a severe classification for imminent, irreversible danger that the New York DEC has literally never actually used before.
Right. The government maintains that the latency of radiation exposure doesn't meet that imminent threshold. But for the families breathing in radon gas next to their refrigerators, I mean, it certainly feels imminent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole situation really proves why household radiation monitoring, like having a simple active radon detector, is a vital modern necessity for you, and not just some paranoid precaution.
I totally agree. It is the invisible legacy of our industrial past.
Because the threat here isn't an acute chemical spill, it's a geological time bomb on a 70-year fuse, quietly venting into modern sanctuaries.
Exactly.
So the next time you bring in the mail, think about this. If 1950s unregulated sheep fill is haunting neighborhoods 70 years later, what seemingly harmless, unregulated building materials are we putting into our homes today that future generations will have to painstakingly excavate?